How's it going, everybody? Rybrad here today, and we are back with our Nashville Predators GM mode. So thank you guys for the support on the last one. You guys are loving this GM mode. I'm loving that you're loving it. So if you want to see more of it, hit that subscribe button, because at 400 I will be unveiling our new moderator for when I go live on live streams on Twitch and on YouTube. And when we get to 500, I'll be doing face cams and everything, so you guys will be able to interact with me, and it'll feel a little bit more personable too. So we're on our way to 400 and to 500. We're getting really close to 400, so thank you guys so much. So let's go ahead here, and I did read your guys' comments last time. There was some debate about whether or not to sign AHL players or not. And Kelly Yarncrook here, you guys said that he should be a third line center, but I like Colton Sisson there because he's got that potential. He's only 23, he's medium top 9. Whereas Yarncrook is medium top 9, but he's only 25. He's 82. I'd really like him there on that fourth line because that's where he wants to be. And Sisson's actually, wow, Craig Smith has really good faceoffs. So you know what? Let's see. Colton Sisson's got 75. I like Craig Smith there. Put him in the middle. And there we go, guys. So there are the lines. We'll have Fiala with Smith and Sissons. I really like this kind of pairing. Craig Smith is going to be a really good playmaker for our young sniper Fiala, and I'm really excited to see what he can do. Hopefully Sissons can turn into that top 9 forward, that third line, solid, bona fide forward for us. And again, guys, our first line is Forsberg, Johansson, Neal, Arvidsson, Raquel, and Sedin on that second line. I'm really excited to see what we can do this season. Our defense is only getting better. No drop-off from our defense, and our goalie, John Gibson and UC Saros, these two guys are absolutely killing it for us. Now, of course, they're on really favorable contracts. UC Saros, I could even try, as much as it would kill to do this, I might want to trade him away because he's going to ask for a decent amount of money, and I don't think we have a ton of cap space coming up in this offseason. So we'll probably get up to the trade deadline or to the January 1st, my personal trade deadline, as you guys know, if you guys been around the channel long enough. That's when I like to have my personal trade deadline. But he's going to want a real big boy contract and a decent amount of money for his overall and his potential. So he might be somebody that I go ahead and trade away because, as you see here, we only have $18 million in cap space. And some of the guys we have to re-sign are James Neal. Well, Sedin will probably come off the books there, so that'll be a guaranteed. That's another person we can sign. CC Fiala. Weber, Irwin, Salamaki, Watson. So there's going to be, the one I'm worried about is Neal and CC. These two guys, plus Fiala. These three guys are going to take up probably close to that $18 million. So I'm afraid of what UC Saros is going to want. So we've got some decisions to make at the trade deadline, guys. So, but we're not worried about that. We're worried about what kind of team we're going to be at that trade deadline because we do have assets on this team. We have 2 really good goalies, and that means we can trade one away. So I'm going to go ahead and turn off injuries, because you guys know that I don't like injuries during the preseason, because I'd hate to have somebody get a month-long injury in the preseason, even on other teams, as much as I would like to see somebody like Patrick Kane go down for 2 months with something, because it would definitely help us out in the Central Division. I'd definitely like to keep everybody healthy so the simulation can be as realistic as possible. So let's go ahead and simulate up to Saturday the 7th. But yeah, I'm thinking ahead to that trade deadline. Are we going to be able to make a push for the playoffs? I'm hoping we're a good team. Good Lord, if we're not a good team, I'm doing something seriously wrong, because I'm really excited for this season. I think we're better. We did lose a really good third line center, but holy crap. Again, this is preseason, so you can't really take too much out of this, but it's just going to give us a little indication of how good of a team we are, because teams do play their starters and they play their backups, where I only play my starters because I don't feel like messing around with all that roster moves and BS. So we're here at the end of the preseason, and we went 6-0 in the preseason. Oh man, if that's any indication for how this season's going to go, I'm really excited for it, guys. This is going to be a good season. I know we're in that really tough Central Division. Not player, good Lord. I know we're in that really tough Central Division, but I am really ready to go ahead and get underway with season number 2. A lot of, I made some trades I took away some of our older players and, some players who weren't going to grow. And now I've got some players who are going to grow and are going to have a great season. One being John Gibson, who just won the Vezina. Is he going to be able to defend his trophy? Is he going to defend his Vezina trophy? Well, let's go ahead and find out how this team simulates. I think we were the best offensive team last year in 4th in defense, and ended up losing in 7 in the first round of the playoffs. So that's BS, but what are you going to do? Let's see if we can have an even better season this season, and maybe even get that first seed in the Central Division, as our first game is a 4-0 shutout against the Winnipeg Jets. Now we're going up against the Blackhawks, who we lose to 4-3. So they're still going to be a tough team. There's a lot of tough teams in our division. A 6-2 loss to San Jose, so I might want to curb my expectations a little bit. I know it's just the beginning, but we do get a shootout win against Boston. Eastern Conference opponents are where I don't want to drop points, or actually, it's where I'm okay with dropping points. I want to beat, oh my God, come on. Again, this team does not like to start the season well. If you guys remember last season, we really turned it on around January. The end of January, February, March is when we really became a really, really hot team. It's a good year for rookies. Okay. Chris Kunitz and a third for Vainio and Taiska. Let me go ahead and check out this trade, because this Chris Kunitz has got 2 more years at 3.6. He's 38 too. He might retire. Plus, I get the Leafs third. But this is given up. He's 20 medium, top 6. No thanks. I don't think, I want to kind of see what this team is going to be like first, before I go ahead and make a trade. 2 weeks into the NHL season, I'm not going to be trading to acquire anybody, because I don't want to screw up any kind of chemistry or something like that. We do beat the Sabres and the Detroit Red Wings. Now, a game against the Central Division leading team last year, the Minnesota Wild, we beat them 3-1, and I think they're 2-6-1 to start off the year. And against Detroit here, we get a 3-0 shutout win, a 6-4 record as we get through the first month of the season. Let's see here. We'll go into December and then probably up to January 1st, so that'll leave 2 months up until the... Actually, you know what? Well, let's go ahead and get up to the All-Star break here. It's kind of what I'm thinking. Let's go ahead and get through the month of November, though, and then we'll go ahead and do a stat checkup just to see how we're performing as we get 2 months into the season. But yeah, I'm really excited for this season, guys. This Nashville Predators team, it wasn't a Stanley Cup contender when I got here, but I'm hopefully going to turn it into a perennial Stanley Cup contender. I don't want it to be, Pekka Rinne leaves and then we're SOL. That's why I traded him away, because he was old, he had a lot of trade value, and we got a better goalie because of it. All right, and we beat the Washington Capitals, so we're losing against Western Conference teams, but beating Eastern Conference teams, it looks like. Pittsburgh's a really good team, but we do follow up the loss against Pittsburgh with a win against Tampa Bay. Very exciting. Edmonton Oilers, we beat 3-2 against Buffalo, who's 9-7-1. About the same record as us. We lose in overtime, but it's still a point. All points matter. These games against these Central Division opponents really matter, and we keep dropping them. All right, 3 Central Division opponents here: Minnesota, Chicago. Are we going to be able to bounce back after the loss to Dallas? Well, let's go ahead and find out after I go ahead and send my scout out for a month to the QMJHL. Let's see. And we do beat the Minnesota Wild. They were a great team last year. They must have lost somebody in free agency. We do pick up a point against the Chicago Blackhawks, against the Washington Capitals, and Winnipeg. We lose in overtime to the Capitals, but against Winnipeg, a 5-1 win. So we really have Winnipeg's number. Pekka Rinne and the Anaheim Ducks, we do beat them 4-3, as we are now 12-7-3, and there are players that want to meet with me. So interesting. Kevin Fiala, what's he saying? When you're as good as me, recent performances like these are just the norm. Good work, man. If Kevin Fiala is performing great, I'd love that easily, because Kevin Fiala is going to be a top sniper on this team anyway. And if he's already breaking into the league as a rookie and having a fantastic season, I would love to see it. And that locker room chemistry, guys, is fantastic. And holy crap, look at the Chicago Blackhawks up there at 38 points, where we are tied for second with 27 points, and only above the wild card St. Louis Blues by 2 points. Interesting. So 20 games through the season. Apparently Fiala is having a great year. Ryjo is up there at 27. Johansson has 27 points in 22 games. This first line is killing it. Holy crap. Johansson with 27 in 22. Forsberg 24 in 22. Neal 23 in 22. Then our second line, let's go ahead and keep going on forwards here. Arvidsson, Sedin, and Raquel are all performing great. Sedin, I think, has dropped to an 87. He was an 88, so he's dropping off just a little bit, but he's old. I'm not too worried about that. Victor Arvidsson has got 17 points. Awesome. So Yarncrook has got 8 points. Fiala's got 3 goals and 3 assists, so maybe he's really turned it on, found his rhythm. But I don't know why he's going to come to me bragging about how good his performances are if he's not doing jack shit. All right, defenseman, PK Subban's got 13 points. Ellis is up there as well. And goaltending, John Gibson has 2 shutouts. Oh, wow, UC Saros' save percentage is way better than Gibson, who's having a pretty crappy season, although he didn't have the greatest season at the beginning last year, so maybe he'll turn it on and we'll figure everything out. Let's go ahead and get another month into the season. I'm liking how we're towards the top. We're still within striking distance of the Chicago Blackhawks, but I don't know. I'd like to see us get over that hump and start stringing together a lot of wins. You know, a 5-0 win against the Oilers. That's a dominant win. The Stanley Cup champion Oilers, that is. A 2-0 win for the LA Kings. Now we're playing Boston, who seems to be a pretty bad team. We lose to them in overtime, but that's still a point. Every point matters. I'd love to go on a wicked point streak here. But it gets cut short against an 8-4 loss against the LA Kings. Good Lord. And then a 3-1 loss. This is what I don't want. I don't want these losing streaks. 3 losses in a row. Can we beat St. Louis? Is it going to happen? No, it's not. There's 5 straight losses if you count the overtime loss. Come on, we got to beat Calgary, right? And there, finally, we bounce back with a win. 5 straight losses, 1 point in 5 games. That is not the kind of performance you want from a team that's in the Central Division trying to make a push. Good Lord. Come on, boys. Let's get on a winning streak here. Let's beat these Central Division opponents. Dallas, 18-8-5. We win in overtime. That's huge because that's a tiebreaker too. Regulation and overtime wins. But then we get back-to-back losses, giving up 5 freaking goals. What the hell is going on? Oh, but we do shut out St. Louis 5-0 against the Rangers, who are a pretty bad team. We win in a shootout, thank God, finally. Putting 2 wins back-to-back for the first time in forever. And we lose in a shootout to the New Jersey Devils. Holy crap. All right. You know what? I'm not going to change a thing. Let's go ahead and get up to the halfway point of the season. And get up to this All-Star break here. Oh, come on. I need to have a much better January. Last year we made the trade for Daniel Sedin around this time, and it really sparked our offense. Well, sparked our team anyway. We got a bona fide leader and a veteran in here to help us win. And we back-to-back wins followed up by a 4-1 loss to the Coyotes. Good Lord. All right, some players want to meet with me. Who wants to talk? Ryan Ellis and Salamaki. Ellis, seems like management is really on the ball as of late. It's great. Thank you. I really appreciate that. I'm really proud of how the team is performing as of late. Well, good. I'm glad everyone's really, really happy with how we're doing, but would you guys string some wins together? Like, I don't care if you're happy, like, oh, we're getting some wins and we're playing well. Would you put a lot of wins together and take that next step and become a dominant team, please? Or are we just going to waltz our way through the season about, in that 2-3 spot and then get bounced in the first round like we did last year? That's not the legacy I want to leave here with the Nashville Predators. I want to get us over that hump. I want us to be a dominant team. I want us to be a top NHL team. Top 5 is my goal. And I know you guys said that this team is one that doesn't need to be rebuilt, but I didn't want to get into a rebuilding project with NHL 18 coming out in just a couple months. I wanted a team that we could turn into a dynasty, a team that we could, from day one needed some help, but was pretty much there. Was there as a top contender, or not even a top contender. They were a contender, but they weren't over the hump. No, good. I'm glad you enjoy the family in the locker room. Well, let's turn that family into wins, please. Not a bad January so far. We're getting wins, but I'm telling you guys, I want to keep this team towards the top of the league for years. I want to get 7 straight years of playoffs, no lottery picks. I want us to be dominant. What the? Oh my God. This freaking Central Division. We are in the wild card spot. And we are in the first wild card spot, it looks like, and we are tied with Dallas for that 3rd spot in the division. But guys, there is something to be desired from this team, but I don't know what it is. Johansson is killing the game. 48 points in 48 games. Ryan Johansson is taking that next step this season. It's awesome to see that. Forsberg up there as well, and James Neal. Sedin's got 32 points. Subban has 28. Arvidsson has 28. Raquel's got 16. Okay, Fiala's got 14 in his rookie season. Who is not performing well? Cody Cease, yeah, that's defenders. Salamaki's not playing well, and neither is Craig Smith. Does Craig Smith maybe? He probably needs more ice time. I think he's only getting 5-on-5 ice time. I should probably put him on penalty kill and stuff. I should check out the goalies too. I do want to check out the goalies just to see if Gibson's not playing well. Maybe we stick with Saros as the number 1. But you can't trade away a Vezina. You can't bench a Vezina. Okay. 2.4, so he did bring it down, but UC Saros is killing it. 9.15, so okay. So he's definitely improved, and Saros is kind of those are great numbers for a backup goaltender, and he's listed as a backup goalie, so hey, I'll take it. If he's going to be a backup goaltender and want the backup playing time, I will take it, but he could be somebody we throw on the trading block. As far as goals for per game, it's dropped off significantly from the best offensive team to one of the worst. But defensively, we are tied for second best in the division. Let's go ahead and check out the entire league. Yeah, there we go. We are like, what is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6th. But goals for per game, we are right down here at the bottom of the league, aren't we? No, we're about halfway. Are we in the top half of the? No, we're middle of the road, 500. Our offense really stepped up last year. I don't know what the difference is this year. Power play. Oh, there it is. Our power play is awful. From having the best power play in the league to only being at 18%, and penalty killing percentage is up there towards the tops. We are third. So guys, this is what I expected this team to be, a very solid defensive team, as we are in the tops of the league at goals against and penalty killing, but we're just not getting enough goals. And shorthanded goals for, well, I'll just check it out. Why not? Because we're at the top of the league. So awesome. Power play goals against, we're at times shorthanded is 122. Times on the power play, there's our problem. We're not capitalizing. We're getting a lot of power plays, but just not capitalizing on them. So let's go ahead and check out the trade block, guys, as we are at the All-Star break. Maybe there's a player that we could trade. I'm honestly thinking UC Saros is expendable. We also do have some players in the system with low trade value that I think we could go ahead and get. Just remove them from the team, or we can go ahead and trade for like the Ducks' first-round pick. I don't know. All right, so the Ducks don't look like they have anything. There's Datsuk, guys. Datsuk, he's got 2 years left. He's probably going to retire. He doesn't have the most ridiculous trade value. We could probably get something else out of the Coyotes, too, if we traded enough for him. Wow, the Boston Bruins are bad. Look at how much their trade value that first-round pick is. Maxime Comtois is on the block, so I could go ahead and acquire a young stud. Bork, not the kind of guy I'm looking for. Jumbo Joe Thornton, 1 year left on his contract. He's a second-line center if I don't, you better believe it. He's got 48 points. How many points? He's on Carolina. Weird. How many points does Datsuk have? He's got 36. Okay. Let's check out the Blackhawks. Nope. DeBrincat's on the block. Yeah, no. Okay. Wow. Korpisalo's got a frick ton of trade value. Holy crap. Peter Budaj. Yeah, no thanks. Andre Markov, an offensive defenseman. Maybe a spot for Yannick Weber we could take there. I mean, he's really old, though. Milat Ovalet, I did my best there. Bobby Lou, no thank you. Spencer Watson, no thanks. Because we're a playoff team, guys. We want to acquire somebody that's going to go ahead and help our team. Maybe a defensive defenseman would help, but it's not the defense that's the problem. It's offense that's the problem. Ben Bishop, I don't care. He's on the Devils now, but he's on the trade block again. Marc-Andre Fleury is on the trade block. Nolan Patrick is on the trade block. Lots of young guys on the trade block because these teams are good teams. There's Henrik Sedin, and put Mike Fisher on the block at 3.75. These guys, you know what? Henrik might not be a bad guy to go get, although, how many points does he have? He's got 30 points. Ratcliffe, and then, yeah, so there's the trade block, guys. I mean, maybe that second-line center for, Datsuk, and then we could move Ricard Raquel down to that third line. Or Jumbo Joe Thornton. That could be another option. Like, they don't have the most ridiculous trade value. Like, if I just throw him up on the board right now, I'll just go ahead and throw UC Saros up there too, because as much as I like Saros as having a stud backup goalie like that, we have an elite goaltender of the future in John Gibson. He's got pretty good trade value. We'd probably have to give up just a little bit more here. So, not a rookie goalie, excuse me, a rookie skater, or not rookie skater. Skaters matching the block is what I want. So someone like, I don't know, this guy. Oh, wait, that wouldn't help because we'd have too many skaters in the organization because we have 50 contracts and we're right at the brink. So like a guy like Kyle Chipchura, I mean, I signed him for a pretty small contract as a fourth-line forward, but he's down there in the minors. Even McLeod, I mean, that's not a bad trade in my mind, although we would have to call up another goalie. So you guys let me know what I should do, who I should go get. I showed you guys the trade block, but if you have somebody else in mind that I should maybe try and go acquire, let me know. But we are at the All-Star break, towards the top of the division, I guess you could say. We're tied. The Blackhawks are absolutely running away with it. So let's see if we can make a playoff push here and solidify ourselves as a playoff team. I mean, the team looks great, but I don't know what to do. You guys let me know your thoughts. I got some ideas on mind. Everybody go enjoy your Father's Day. Have a happy weekend, and I will see you in the next one.